arthropods are one of the most resilient creatures to live on the planet. These creatures are characterized with segmented bodies and hard shell covering and jointed lips, to name a few. Trilobites, crustaceans, insects, myriapods, and arachnids are all arthropods that have significantly changed and adapted to new environments. Changes in carbon dioxide and oxygen levels affect the evolution of arthropods by causing them to change in size, along with crushing species to either go extinct or to rebound stronger. Climate change on Earth has been and continues to be a primary suspect and a factor that induces evolution. It was supported by the fact that some 300 million years ago, in the Carboniferous period, the massive arthropods roamed the Earth, analyzing rock layers and their components during this time. Oxygen made up about 35% of the atmosphere, compared to the 20% today. Incidentally, scientists found, according to National Geographic, centipedes 2 meters long and dragonflies with 2.5 foot long wingspans.
Regardless, the bottom line is that these insects got bigger because of environmental factors which caused them to adapt and evolve. Through this example, we can clearly see the impact of the environment on evolution. The concept is also expressed in the Hardy-Weinberg principle. The change in environment disrupts the balance that requires populations stay stable and not evolve. Hence, evolution occurred due to the change in the components of the atmosphere.
Religious opponents cannot imagine a world where it is possible for their chief entity to combine with nature so that natural selection will continue the process of making new species. Arthropods are living examples of how change has occurred, as there are few arthropods that can compare to the sizes in the past. Even today, many arthropods are dealing with changes in temperature of Earth due to rising carbon emissions. Although religions may reject evolution, it is unquestionably true that the atmospheric conditions are bringing about change in the evolution of people and arthropods alike. On the other hand, arthropods are also demonstrating the resilience they have towards climate change. Arthropod species are both fading into history and also proving more resilient at the same time. According to Ocean Conservancy, red crab populations have been plummeting due to ocean acidification, which is caused by some 30% of carbon dioxide being pulled into oceans. However, according to the book Agroclimatology, linking agriculture to climate, many species of pests, along with creating new resistances to insecticides, also increased in success due to raising temperatures. The increased heat may have reduced predation opportunities, while the bugs that were better adapted to survive continue to prey on the plants. For humans, this makes many political and economic complications. For one thing, the increased pest count creates a greater threat to the agricultural industry. The greater issue would be pest control and how to stop the climate from further worsening the problem. More pests can mean greater potential for damage to crops during harvest season. Species of insects like the Asian citrus psyllid can have larger, more devastating effects on the economy of specific crops that the U.S. makes profit out of. In addition, the government will have to respond to these threats and try to help support the farmers that have lost their crop yield due to these stronger, better adapted insects. The government will also have a new focus on arthropod damage on the economy, and will have to invest more into not just pesticides but other more reliable alternatives as well. As political controversy over climate change rages on, so does the battle between our economy and insects. Agriculture has always proven vital to any economy, and insects have always been a threat to our crops. However, as arthropods evolve and become resilient to our pesticides, we must also better our understanding of their evolution.
This demonstrates how arthropods can either adapt and get stronger or become too fragile and run the risk of going extinct. Some parts of the world refuse to believe such a thing. Only 81% of the human population agrees with the evidence that scientists found about evolution, and the other 19% remain set against the evidence. Some scientists refuse to believe the fact that insects somehow evolved based on similarities in their structures from the beginning of time. According to a paper on insect evolution by Jerry Bergman, entomologists used the lack of evidence from fossil records of insects from the first 20 million years since multicellular organisms appeared as counter-evolution. However, scientists have already found sufficient evidence and fossils to prove that evolution did actually happen. Arthropods are giving people a first-class lesson on how quickly populations can turn and the advantages can change. Even as our government and president try to avoid the fact that climate change is ever present, arthropods manage to stay one step ahead. Even as people remain arrogant to the effect of climate change, there is no doubt creatures like arthropods are changing their appearance and chances of survival based on the climate changing around them, influencing populations and carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. Now let's take one final look and go to Dr. Ma, who works at the California Air Resources Board. So, Dr. Ma, what do you think climate change is going to make evolution look like in the future?
I think climate change will affect the temperature of certain area. Certain area will become warmer and certain area maybe become colder, which will affect the species in this area to evolve differently. That affects the diversity, the species diversity, and maybe they will evolve differently.
Alright, thank you.